So, I had an idea that I'd be doing this video at some point, but I didn't think it would be this soon. I've spoken about the possibility of the Division 3 for a little while because the Division 1 was out for about 3 years, then the Division 2 came along in 2019, and obviously we're at the end of 2023, so the Division 2's been out for about 4 years, or around 4.5 years. And it's just officially been announced that the Division 3 will go into development as soon as Star Wars Outlaws is released. And just quickly before we jump into this one, if you are looking to pick up cheap games, you want to grab the Division 2 cheap or anything like that, there is a link in the description that will take you through the CD keys. It's titled Get Cheap Games. It will take you through there. It's an affiliate link. So by using that link and purchasing your cheap games, you are also supporting the channel. Let's jump into this video. So we have an article here. I'm going to read through the whole thing. And then at the end, I will go through basically my thoughts and opinions on the announcement of the Division 3. We'll have a little chat about it. And then if you guys want to get active and involved in the comments and let me know your thoughts and everything. So it's titled Julian Garrity appointed executive producer for the Division brand. And it says Julian is returning to the brand he helped usher into the world. Garrity's been appointed executive producer for the Division brand and will make the move once Star Wars Outlaws, a game he's currently overseeing as creative director, has shipped. Garrity's excited to return to the Division. Before he joined the Division team as associate creative director in 2014, he remembers seeing the promise in its first reveal at E3 2013, and is quoted here, "I remember the gameplay promise, the co-op PvP, the open world RPG aspect. His world seemed very relatable and very realistic, like you could really be an agent for change within it." After joining the team of Massive, a Ubisoft studio, and shipping the original game in 2016, he moved to the Division 2 as creative director, where he and his team crafted a new adventure in the summertime streets of Washington, D.C. Now he is setting his sights on Tom Clancy's The Division 3, as well as the plethora of other projects set in the universe of The Division, including the mobile game The Division Resurgence, and the survival action shooter Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland. A core focus of Garrity's is to build a team for Tom Clancy's The Division 3, which will be led by Massive Entertainment's the same developers, while making sure Tom Clancy's The Division 2 remains well supported. Outside of that, his attention will be on a solidification of brand identity. And then it's quoted, "We may have over 40 million players, but The Division is still in its early years as a franchise. There are so many incredible stories to tell, places to explore, and people to protect." A key through line Garrity stresses is that every single expression of the Division needs to be of the highest quality. Then again is quoted, "I think that we delivered that with the Division's cutting edge visuals, incredible gameplay, and promise to the player that they can't get this experience anywhere else." And then again with the Division 2, it's about refinement, it's about pushing the quality bar consistently forward. Julian remains fully committed to making Star Wars Outlaws a success, both for the development team and fans. He will remain on the project through launch to ensure the game meets the intended creative vision and provide a great experience for players. When asked if there's anything else Garrity wants to let players of the Division know about its future, he brought up the talent of the Ubisoft development teams, and then quoted, "There are a huge number of talented developers currently working on the brand, and I think that having more consistency can only make everybody's work sing." So, officially confirmed, Julian Garrity's back on the team and has been appointed executive producer for the Division brand. So, with that, it leaves a lot of questions. When's the game going to release? When's it possibly going to release? All that sort of stuff. And if Outlaws is going to release first, I'm going to say the Division 3 will not be here until roughly 2027, 2028. So we're still like 4 or 5 years off. Maybe 3. It might come out in 2026. We don't know. But the Division 3, in my opinion, what it needs to do to succeed, and I would love to see it succeed. The Division 2 was a great game until you got to the end game that started going downhill. I think for the Division 3, it needs to go to, I would say, back to the snow, because we had the Division 1 set in the snow. The Division 2 was set in the Washington, D.C. There was no snow or anything like that. And out of the two, if you've gone like plain sort of atmosphere, snowy atmosphere, players preferred the snow. They could try something completely different. They could do a desert-based one. Like, we don't know what Julian's got in mind or what any of the developers are up for making. But I think realistically, it needs 3 things. It needs the right part of the community listened to. It needs a deeper atmosphere than the Division 2. and it needs a lot less bugs than the Division 2, and then they have the perfect recipe. The Division 2's story is brilliant, the characters are memorable, the game itself is fantastic, but they really did let it down after Warlords of New York, and it pretty much went to complete shit. They're now doing 4-month seasons, so that's a lot less content that's already coming to the game, because they've just done seasonal content for the last 2 or 3 years. But I really think if they listen to the community in the right aspects, it can be a brilliant addition to the franchise. Because you had things like transmog, that system got put into the game, and then once it was in there, they never added anything else. They dropped the transmog system altogether. They just created it, added the stuff that was already in the game, then when new stuff was being released, it never got added to the system. You've also got hardcore mode, that never once had an update. Then you've got PvP. Red Storm left the Division 2 about a year after release, so nothing good ever came to PvP. So what I think Julian should be focusing on, in my opinion, obviously, it's entirely up to Julian what him and the team focus on, but what I think Julian should be focusing on is getting the right people in the teams to create a full experience, but one that's going to hold together for years to come. I don't think the Division franchise in its major titles needs any more than 3. I think a trilogy is a really, really good idea. But it would be really, really nice to see a good, solid loot system, good replayable content, none of this seasonal stuff. I really, really hope the seasons don't make a return. Just do it more along the lines of the Division 1. Release DLCs, have expansions and stuff. This seasonal content has to be scrapped. If they keep with the seasonal idea, then I can't see the Division 3 being good in any way, shape or form. I think the story's got to be there, the characters have to be there, the atmosphere is probably one of the most core fundamental features that needs to be nail on the head. It's got to be pretty much perfect. And then the replayability, the summit, countdown, and then that stupid descent, they're not replayable modes. They are in a way, but you play them 2 or 3 times and then it's what is the point? Nothing changes. And then the way they do the exotics and stuff needs to change as well. Because they had the raid exclusive Eagle Bearer, then they said it's not going to be raid exclusive anymore, we're dropping it into different loopholes, and it goes to the Dark Zone. So it forces you into an area where there is PvP combat. So you either have to do the raid, or you've got to go into a place where there's the possibility of doing PvP. And players are not interested in that stuff. Not all the time. There's obviously some players out there that are willing to do it, but not everyone wants to be involved in that part of the game. And they need to not lie to their players. They said every single bit of content they release, at least within the first year, will have matchmaking enabled. They dropped the raid within the first year. So it annoyed a lot of players because it was misleading. The raid never had matchmaking until they put in discovery mode, and players got frustrated. But not only that, they had the classified assignments. They were part of paid content, and for a lot of players, they didn't work for years and years and years. Then all of a sudden, they added different difficulties and stuff to them, and I don't even think the development team were aware of what they did. So in my opinion, just improve on what the Division 1 and the Division 2 are at their core. They don't need to go fancy reinventing the wheel. I would say a completely different location though. Don't go anywhere near New York again. Don't go back to Washington or anything like that. Have a new location set up. Create a deep atmosphere, have memorable characters built, and then it's the perfect recipe for a successful 3rd installation in the series. That's my honest opinion, my thoughts and stuff. I'm actually really excited to follow this game because I put nearly 2,000 hours into the Division 2, and I completed the Division 1 a bunch of times as well. I love the franchise, I just don't like the way it's been carried and been developed through the years. So that is the official announcement and my opinion and thoughts and stuff on the Division 3. And on that note, we are going to leave the video there. If you enjoyed it, leaving a like is appreciated. If you wish to support me further as a creator, there are links in the description. Let me know your thoughts about the video in the comments. And if you want to watch more, you can click the video on screen. All support on the channel is greatly appreciated and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.